Have you ever been judged by the clothes you wear instead of the person you are? Imagine spending years building a company with honesty, sacrifice, and kindness, only to be stopped at the front door and told you don't belong. What would you do? Would you become angry, or would you choose grace instead? Stay with us, because this story proves that one act of kindness can reveal who truly deserves success. Sometimes, life has a way of testing not only our patience but also our character. Today's story is about a humble single father who lost almost everything, built an incredible company from the ground up, and then faced the most shocking moment of his life when the people he trusted failed to recognize him. Before we begin, welcome to Heartline Stories. If you enjoy emotional stories that restore your faith in humanity, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps us continue bringing inspiring stories that remind the world that kindness always matters. David Carter was a quiet man who never cared about expensive suits or luxury cars. After losing his wife to illness, he devoted every part of his life to raising his little daughter, Emma. He worked long days and even longer nights, often skipping meals so Emma would always have everything she needed. Money was tight, but David believed that love, honesty, and kindness were worth more than anything money could buy. Years later, David created a small technology company from the garage of his modest home. He hired people who needed second chances, single parents, veterans, and workers who had struggled to find jobs. His company slowly grew because he treated every employee with respect. Instead of calling them workers, he called them family. As the company expanded into a successful corporation with hundreds of employees, David stayed exactly the same. He still drove his old pickup truck. He still carried his lunch in a worn-out bag. He still walked through the office asking everyone how their families were doing. One rainy Monday morning, David decided to visit one of the company's newest office buildings without announcing his arrival. He wanted to experience the workplace exactly as every visitor did. Wearing an old jacket after helping Emma move into her college apartment the previous weekend, he walked toward the front entrance with a warm smile. The security guard looked him up and down before blocking the doorway. "Delivery entrance is around the back," the guard said without even asking who David was. David smiled politely. "Actually, I'm here for a meeting." The guard folded his arms. "Employees enter with badges. Visitors need appointments. You don't have either." David calmly explained that he owned the company. The guard laughed loudly. Nearby employees heard the conversation and began whispering. "Sure you do," one receptionist joked. "And I'm the President of the United States." Several people laughed. David didn't. Instead, he quietly asked if they could call the executive office. The receptionist rolled her eyes. "Sir, please stop causing trouble. You're holding up everyone else." Another security officer arrived. Without asking questions, he escorted David outside and warned him not to return. David looked around at the building he had spent years creating. The people inside had never met him because he preferred working behind the scenes. Instead of feeling angry, he simply felt disappointed. An hour later, the company's executive leadership gathered for an emergency meeting after receiving an unexpected phone call from David. The CEO, who had worked beside David for nearly 15 years, immediately realized something was wrong. Within minutes, the entire management team rushed to the office entrance. There stood David, still waiting patiently in the rain. The CEO hurried over, shook David's hand, and apologized repeatedly. Every employee nearby suddenly became silent. The same security guard who had laughed moments earlier turned pale. The receptionist stared at the floor. No one could believe the poorly dressed man was actually the founder of the billion-dollar company. David entered the building without saying a single harsh word. Inside the conference room, the CEO asked what action should be taken. Some executives demanded immediate termination for everyone involved. Others believed more investigation was needed. David remained quiet for several moments before speaking. "They didn't fail because they didn't recognize me," he said softly. "They failed because they forgot how to treat another human being." His words filled the room with silence. The security footage showed that several employees had mocked David before knowing who he was. Worse still, records revealed they had treated many visitors the same way for months. The problem wasn't one mistake. It had become part of the workplace culture. David made a difficult decision. The security manager, the receptionist, and several supervisors who encouraged disrespectful behavior were dismissed immediately because they had repeatedly ignored complaints from visitors and employees alike. However, David also instructed the Human Resources Department to create mandatory kindness and respect training for every remaining employee, from interns to executives. No customer, David said, should ever need expensive clothes to receive basic respect. The story quickly spread throughout the company. Employees began greeting every visitor with genuine smiles. Security officers learned to listen before making assumptions. Managers started spending more time helping employees instead of simply giving orders. The atmosphere changed completely. Months later, David returned to the same building wearing the very same old jacket. This time, the new security guard opened the door before David even reached it. "Good morning, sir," he said with a smile. "Welcome. How may I help you today?" David smiled back. "Thank you," he replied. "You've already helped me by showing kindness." The young guard had no idea who David was. He simply treated every person with dignity. That was exactly the culture David had always dreamed of building. Later that afternoon, David invited the guard to lunch. When the young man discovered he had been speaking with the company founder, he became nervous and apologized if he had made any mistakes. David laughed gently. "You did everything right," he said. "You saw a person before you saw a title." Years passed, and David's company became known not only for its success but also for its remarkable customer service and compassionate workplace culture. Businesses across the country studied the company's values, hoping to understand the secret behind its success. But David always gave the same answer. "Kindness costs nothing," he would say. "Yet it creates opportunities that money never can." Emma eventually joined the company after graduating from college. She often smiled when she saw employees helping strangers, opening doors, or offering encouragement to coworkers. She knew her father's greatest achievement wasn't building a successful business. It was building a place where people remembered to care for one another. The truth is, every single day gives us a choice. We can judge people by their appearance, or we can choose compassion. We never know what someone has survived, what burdens they carry, or what difference one kind word can make. Respect should never depend on someone's clothes, job title, or bank account. Real character is revealed by how we treat those who seem to have nothing to offer us. And as David's story reminds us, kindness always finds its way back. So wherever you go today, choose kindness first. You might change someone's life and you may never realize just how much your simple act of respect truly matters.